Oh, Libra, thanks for joining me. Happy New Year. Fingers crossed it's a better year than last year. I'm going to go through for about 10 minutes here and give you what I think is a synopsis of the critical transits here, especially the eclipses. The main position of the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, what we call the Great Conjunction, and then see how that works with these karmic nodes. That is your future and past karma. Where are you contextually in 2021 in your path? Because really this is what it's about. I've done a large 3,000 word forecast for you at the site. I'll tell you about that later. But for now, I just want to touch on things such as the 9th house transit of Rahu, or the North Node, which is your future karma. How is this playing out for you? The past karma point with Venus, your ruling planet. This axis here is extremely important for you throughout 2021. And if we can focus on this, we get an idea of maybe some of the events, but really what you're focused on and how that's going to play out in terms of the context of events. For example, Venus is your ruling planet. Here in the 3rd house with the past karma, you've got to get over thinking of the past. The 3rd house is thoughts. It's the thinking processes. It's the ideative, superficial mind. As Venus commences the year here for you, very near the South Node, you could be almost compulsively absorbed in thought. The important thing here to understand is that the thoughts you're having aren't you. The thoughts you're having are yours. And so the first thing here, especially with the North Node in the 9th house of the spiritual sector of your horoscope, is to understand that the focus here, which may unconsciously be your thoughts, is really pushing you up here into the higher mind to make a decision right at the word go. 1st of January 2021. This is the question. Am I the slave or the master of these thoughts? Am I the thoughts or am I the observer of those thoughts? That is huge, Libra. You've got to understand the magnitude of that question. Am I the thoughts or am I the observer of those thoughts? Why is that important? Because here in the 4th house, you want to be happy. Venus moves into this area very soon after the new year commences. So in that first week or two of 2021, I want you to really meditate on this concept so that when Venus finally moves into this area here, you're going to be able to deal with the transformative connection of Venus and Pluto. Pluto's been there for so many years now, and it is really churning within the inner recesses of your heart. You have to figure out what it is that's going to make you happy this year. And I can take you to the next part of the reading, which shows you here. The 5th house, where the Great Conjunction of December 2020 took place and is still playing out here. And this has to do with this thought process and getting yourself into the zone. That creative process is the only way to do that. As I've said many a time, the only way out is in. And it's through creative processes that we go within. Not to get identified with the thought, but to simply suspend the thought so that we're completely absorbed in love and attention with what we are doing in the moment. That is very important. Now, it's not going to happen easily. Look at the challenges you've got here. These red lines are the squares, or what we call the right angles. The oppositions are also challenging. You see here as the year starts, the predominance of these challenges. Uranus, which is the progressive planet, is challenging the Saturnian influence in your chart. It rules the 4th and 5th house. Actually, Saturn is your best planet, ruling the angle and the trine. Challenged here by your deeper need for self-transformation. It's only going to happen through the mechanism of this creativity. Now, you see Mars starting the year there in the 7th house. Maybe a few arguments have been going on for you because the 7th house has to do with your principal relationships. Excuse me, I've really done my back in and I'm in a lot of pain. So trying to keep it together. I got out of bed yesterday and as I got out, I heard something snapped. So anyhow, attention. That Mars can cause some problems for you. It does move out early in the year into this 8th house. That is a problem in terms of your finances. There could be money arguments that just arise out of nowhere. Again, all of those things, it doesn't matter what I'm going to predict for you. I think it's just so sweet that if you deal with this, it's like, cutting the sort of leaves and the twigs and the branches of the privet tree. It'll just keep growing back. It's important just to cut the tree at the root, and I think that's what I'm offering you here in terms of awareness of the thinking process, which of course would underlie the arguments you have over money. Stepping back into that awareness of observer really puts you in a much better position. Rather than reacting, you can do a little bit of acting, right? And that, I believe, is going to help smooth over a lot of these difficult, challenging aspects that we see here to Mars. Mars is the ruler of your partner. It's quite interesting that your partner, if you're married or in a long-term committed relationship, the partner themselves may be the one precipitating some of these arguments, really pushing your hot buttons, if I could put it that way. So let me have a look here now also at what I think are the 4 main eclipses and where they're going to play out. And you'll probably find they're going to play out in exactly where I've just mentioned here. Firstly, the 26th of May, the lunar eclipse here. The lunar eclipse involves the moon. It's a career planet for you, but it predominantly relates to the mind. In Vedic astrology, we call moon manas. So its association here with the 3rd house, the thinking processes, the past karmic point, is a big one. That is the time when these things that I've just mentioned to you, I think, will start to emerge in a very, very powerful way, in such a way that you will not necessarily, cheers for the new year, you will not necessarily be able to avoid that. The problem with the superficial mind is that it's an unconscious thing. There's a lot of white noise going on there. The lunar eclipse is going to cut off those energies, which is what happens. The south node will cut off the light, and all of these unsuspected things will come up. This is the observational spiritual side of your nature. 26th of May. This is also travels, short journeys, contracts and agreements. All of these things will come to the fore under that eclipse. The 10th of June brings in the solar eclipse in Gemini. Where's Gemini? Gemini is up here in the 9th house of your horoscope. Higher educational pursuits. It is the spiritual house. It also has to do with teachers. Now, I think I'm just getting a vibe here that there may be some issue with someone you've looked up to before. When the North Node is transiting this 9th house, it really shows an unconventional approach to the philosophical views that you have. You may attract unusual teachers, masters, gurus, mentors, people that you want to look up to. But I would say also because of some of these hard aspects, challenging aspects from conservative Saturn to this progressive Uranus, you're looking for something in terms of your spirituality that will help you break free of the chains of your past. You know, the philosophy under these transits will be regarded as something that hasn't been working practically for you. I said that to one of the other star signs as well. But for you, that's going to be paramount during that second eclipse. 19th of November, the Taurus lunar eclipse is going to occur in the 8th house. 8th house is sexuality, intimacy, and how you share not only your physical and emotional and spiritual being with someone, but how you share your money and the things you own with someone. So all of these areas will come to the fore. That's later in the year. Mind you, that's still playing out with Uranus in this area as well. So this is just going to punctuate and accentuate that so much more at the tail end of the year. Finally, the Sagittarius solar eclipse really reiterates that first lunar eclipse that we saw here, which comes back full circle to what I said at the outset. It's all about this for you this year. You are an air sign, and you do have a tendency to waver at times. So that's why I say to you, Libra, you're at a junction now, a turning point in your life, a fork in a sense. And it all comes back to whether you're going to take control of these thoughts. That solar eclipse is going to be a big one for you. And if you handle it properly, meditate in the right way, bring your light of awareness back to the one who's being aware, you are going to strengthen that inner resolve. You're going to be able to take control of the situation and not react or be reliant on other people so much. That's a very important development for you in 2021. I want you to go over there to astrology.com.au. The yearly readings, I think maybe Kay, my assistant, will be putting this very video there alongside of, I'm hoping she'll do that. I'll mention that to her. So you can see the video that I'm doing now and then read the 3,000 words that I've written there to fill in all of these parts of the year that you think, oh, he's left out all this other stuff. I haven't left it out. Go there. In the meantime, why not subscribe? And if you need a personal reading for the coming 12 months, now's as good a time as any to drop me a line and we can make that happen. I'll be back in February with the monthlies, taking them up so we can start to contextualize month by month how that's fitting in with this principal theme that I've talked about today. So there it is. Great to have your company. I'll see you again in February, and do stay safe. Happy New Year. Bye-bye now.